Good luck.
Hey, it said it started streaming, but it did that last time. Worst case, I know how to fix
Did you switch to contacts?
No, I just can't read that. It's
Okay.
close, so I have to take my glasses off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can skip it. Yeah, this is a membership meeting for August. So call to order, make sure we watch crosstalk, especially you guys sitting there because the mic's right there. Even if you guys are whispering to each other, it picks up that mic and then those people can't hear anything else. So if you have something to say, just raise your hand, I'll get to you. But all attendees not in person, please mute your mics. That's okay, Lily. You don't need to see who's talking. And then head count. If you guys can, go to l.familab.org/sign-in. It's on the agenda as well. Just sign in so that you're here so we can get a head count for the meeting. It just kind of helps us in tracking and things like for the grants and whatnot to show who showed up when. All right, so before we start anything else, I want to say again, I think you all were here when I said it. If you haven't voted yet, please make sure you vote before the end of the meeting on the new membership process. The link is in general chat and announcements and wherever else we posted it, just so that we can make sure. With that, and it's in the meeting chat as well. So that way we can make sure and include that at the end of this meeting. So, membership changes, not related to what I just said. The total amount of members we have right now, full paying members, are about 68. 15 special cases, same as last time, except for we went up. I think we went up 2. We didn't put it on there. We went up 2 and lost 1, right? So, not bad. We're still gaining. It's not like the 4 we gained previous one, or 3, whatever it was, but we're still gaining. So let's make sure we're still telling people about it. Mark brought a friend in today, and you know, the events and the social media is the biggest thing. So yeah, just if you have an event, it's like any other time I've said, if you have an event, you want to hold an event, let us know. There's a link on the website. It's actually under teach class, something like that. It doesn't have to be a class. Any kind of event. There's a D&D night. There's a lot of fiber art stuff going on. So yeah, if you want to do anything, let us know. If you have an idea but don't know what to do, let us know. We have a ton of ideas that we can do. So the P&L for June. This looks kind of weird, and we're trying to find the best way of doing this because we have, in the past, we've kind of done month to month for our financial tracking. In any business, that's not the best way of doing it. Quarterly at the lowest would be the best. So we're kind of giving you more of a year to date on the main numbers, but then we're also giving a month to month for you guys to see. But the biggest thing is to focus on the year to date. So last month of June, we were down 904, which is pretty high considering we were in the green the month before. But our year to date is only negative 1,694, which is pretty good considering what we were charging at the old space. So we're still doing good, but there were things like Duke Energy had some billing issues that I ended up, like for instance, I think that was the month that the power got cut off, right? Was that? Yeah.
No, actually, so this time it was July. It says June on there. That's July's, you know. Stuff. That was just a typo.
Yeah. So that was the month that there was a mix-up in the billing. So basically, the power got shut off on this side, but not on that side, because they're 2 different ones. Even though they're under the same account, they require 2 different payments. It's weird. So that when that got cut off, I said, screw it, and paid the whole thing, not just the past due amount. So that kind of added to it. So we're probably going to be better off this month than last month. Those kind of things are hard for us to, go through and show every single month. So if you're looking more at the year to date, that's the best way to see it. And that is, it hasn't been increasing in negatives. In the negative side, we haven't been losing a lot more than we should be. So I think in the next few months, we're probably going to be out of that completely in the green once things balance out a little bit more. So don't get too discouraged by those numbers. I know last month we were all happy because we were in the green, and then this month we're almost negative 1,000. But you know, you're looking at it, we're almost negative 1,000 for the entire year. 1,000 and a half, something like that. So, anyway, move on from that. House cleaning. AC in the FabLab is not working so great again. That was kind of to be expected. The AC guy came out and there was a leak, but in order to track down that leak, they have to put a dye in it and let it run. And then when it leaks, they'll be able to come back and find out where the leak is. We just didn't expect it to leak that quick. So the AC guy is supposed to be on his way back. Landlord is aware of it. I'll double check with him in the next couple of days to see his message on Saturday and haven't gotten a response. It was weekend, so we'll see. So for the time being, just like before, keep the lobby door open, especially when you're that lobby door to the FabLab, especially if you're running the laser. If you're running the 3D printer, it's probably a good idea too, just because it gets warm in there and nobody wants to sweat while they're printing stuff. But really, while the laser is running, either one, it needs to stay open because that's how the laser cools down. And the more we run it at a high temperature, the quicker the tube is going to fail. Yay, Mike's here. And then also keep the warehouse doors closed at all times. So I think we've been pretty good about that. One time I saw that the warehouse door over there was left open. Sucks because then that AC that wasn't working good tried to cool off the entire warehouse. But when accidents happen, just try your hardest. We should probably get some signs put up there that says keep these doors closed, just as a reminder. But yeah, it's just let the warehouse AC do the warehouse, and these ACs handle the here, and we won't have any problems. Workshops, open houses, again, are being re-added to the calendar since the move. We've actually had a bunch, like I was saying earlier, we had a bunch of fiber art stuff showing up. Kristen, Brian, and Dana, we're all adding new events. This was from last month.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
you
kinda,
those good and bad.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Kristen had the art thing. Like, what is that? Are you still doing that monthly, or?
Yes, it's changed to first Fridays now.
Okay. Did we update the calendar? For
yes.
this? Brian had, what did you have, Brian? Oh, you had the mini thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the model.
Model.
Ish. I think I'm gonna be not D&D, not the D&D because D&D sucks. But
D&D doesn't suck. There's a whole group that runs D&D, so you don't have to do D&D.
yeah, and the D&D is terrible. I don't like D&D, so I'm not going to run nor play D&D.
Speaking of D&D, Dana, thank you to Dana for running hosting the D&D event weekly, which was kind of crazy, but that's awesome.
Yep.
I think they're actually finalizing their campaign soon, so they may be looking for more DMs. If you want, Brian, if you would like to DM, they might be looking for.
As long as it's not D&D, sure.
But no, I think they are looking for a new D&D or DM. So check with Dana or Katie. Katie's the one that's been doing the DMing lately. So
How do you level up as a dungeon?
okay. Anyway,
I've never played it.
let's see. Again, we have lots of suggestions. So I know people are. We kind of have a group of members that different personalities. Some people aren't, comfortable teaching a class or even standing up in front of a bunch of people. If you still want to do something, get with one of the board members. Justin and I especially are happy to help out. I just want to hold Justin for that. But no, I mean, we're happy to help out and, do stuff like help you with your class or your event. And again, it doesn't have to be as intimidating as a class, but it can be, a hangout. We have a lot of hangouts going on that just like the 3D printing hangout. We don't have any specific topic other than 3D printing that we do for that 3D printing hangout. You just show up and if you like the 3D print, you show up. What's up, Mike?
Technically, living in class, got like
how to print in place objects or whatever the thing is.
Correct. And it'll still go on the calendar. Obviously, it could be a closed meet or a single, like you said, only a couple tickets. But as long as it still shows up on the calendar, that really helps us in terms of our presence.
Yeah, no, it's not kind of thing. It'll show up. It's a little thing.
Right.
And if you get more confident, maybe you can open up the.
Yeah. Even if you're just working on a project and you don't necessarily want to even like teach anybody it or need help with it, you could just say, hey, working on this project, anybody that wants to come by, either put it on the calendar or even if you don't put it on the calendar, just post it in Slack. Putting it on the calendar would be better, but posting in Slack, it still helps generate that community aspect that we have. Like John Parrish and Chester have been working on a project the other day, and it was awesome just to see people actually working together on a project again at the lab when it's been so barren for so long.
So if I am hoping to use a specific piece of equipment for a chunk of time, like a Thursday morning for 5 hours, should I put that on the calendar? Private events?
So it depends on the equipment. We haven't really had conflicts. Are you referring to like the?
No, she was thinking, I want to work the lathe on Thursday morning for a few hours.
It's not really a sign of
Only if you're willing to have people watching.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you could just say, hey, I'm working on a woodworking, I'm doing some wood turning this day, and yeah, we could throw that on the calendar. We'd have to word it a little bit better than just I'm using a tool. But yeah, it would.
Learning with me.
Yeah, there you go. Learn with me.
well, you can add more.
Yeah, if you don't want to do learn with me, then yeah, no, it should go.
Yeah, it's
At
not,
a minimum, it should be allowing people to learn with me.
it's not a sign of shit.
Learn with Adam and I'll be here.
Nice. All right, so additional open houses have started on Saturday.
Last Saturday,
Last Saturday of the month. They were, we kind of did it for a couple months and there was a really good turnout. So we decided that we're going to keep them. Mostly Justin and I have been hosting them, but just like the other open house, the more members we can get in there, the better because they can help give tours and cover us if we're not available.
and I'm going to pitch. I will be out of town for this next one, so if someone
Yes.
if we can get some more turnout, that'd be great. That way Adam's not guaranteed so. Yeah, you've been. I think that Ryan's been there as well.
Right.
But yes.
I don't think I have been as much.
I remember my first tour was from Brian.
Oh, there's no second. But yes, the more that comes out this at the end of Saturday, this end of the month, that'd be great.
Coincidentally, there's one this weekend.
All right, that would be the last time.
Yes. Yes.
For the fourth
Wait.
Saturday.
I can't do
Okay,
it.
the 4th or the last?
These
There's
fifth,
5
these
Saturdays.
fifth Saturdays mess things up. So
Let's just say the fourth Saturday of the month. We'll
Yeah.
just say that one.
I guess that's how they were recurring now.
I can't do it.
So yeah, so just come by and help with that if you want, or just hang out. And even those are even good for you just to come out and hang out, work on a project if you have one, because then that kind of shows people that we're not just here to sit around, but there's actually stuff getting done. And
There's
they
stuff
may even
getting
jump
done?
in and help. There's stuff getting done. Some projects get completed. I swear. So we also, I think this was a thing in the past, but we recreated an Amazon wish list, and there are things on there. There's not recurring things on there, things like the AC filters and toilet paper and things like that. We'll just order when we need them. But there are one-time things on there, like there's some stuff that could be utilized for the lathe, tools and additions and accessories. There's stuff on there for, what did we just recently?
We just added a metal lathe,
Yeah.
holder, tool holder of some form. Not my specialty, but somebody said we needed it. So
Right. That's also where we had like the lens for the laser, which was a donation. I don't know if that person wants to tell us who donated it or not, but
We say
What?
thank you to them.
we say thank you to them, correct? But yeah, the FamiLAB laser now has a new lens in it. So does the boss. So they no longer have burn marks. Which I would like to, not to get sidetracked, but the reason that happens is the air assist is not turned on. That can happen one time. Once you run it once without the air assist, that flame comes up, kills the lens. So just make sure when you're running a laser, anybody who runs laser, air assist needs to be on.
Maybe put a sign on it?
Well, I'm supposed to have a class. And Somebody's been slacking on that.
Just printing label on the machine.
Somebody being.
Step on top of that on the switch.
Kill the lens, making the signs turn on the air.
Yeah, we do want to put, yeah, we do want to put, I did want to put like a sign out behind because that switch is like behind the laser. So anyway, I digress. So yeah, the Amazon wish list is there. And it can be anonymous. It may or may not, I don't recall, allow you to do, like if you want to do an anonymous, you want to buy something anonymously, regardless of what Amazon does, if you put anonymous in there, the board may see it, but we're not going to let anybody else see it if you want to be anonymous. So yeah, I know there's a certain amount of anonymous you can do, so just know that if you want to be anonymous, the board might know, but we're not going to pass it on any further. But anyway, thank you to anybody who's bought stuff. There's been actually a couple other things that were bought for the sound system, which I was able to get the sound working in the classroom. Mostly the warehouse. We need one more cable for that, but the sound system and here's worked, and it's working because of those donations. Keep that in mind if you want to give to the lab and don't want to just throw money at it. You want to actually buy something.
If a group of class wants something potentially added to the Amazon wish list, how do we message that?
Just send it to the board. Send it to the board so they can make sure it's approved, and then we'll add it to the wish list.
I don't want to buy the wish list.
There's a link in the agenda, and it's also aldab.familab.org/Amazon, I believe is what I said it was. But there is a link in the agenda too.
It is in the announcements.
Yeah, it's in the announcements.
Oh,
posted it. All right, so moving on, Maker Faire is starting November 9th through the 10th. We want to make sure our presence there is humongous and awesome. We at least want to be there. But no. But we really want to make it as big as possible. We actually had a few people talk about setting up tables. I know Eileen's Opportunity is going to be there, right? You don't think?
I said I could probably go.
Yeah, but I mean for the table. So did you want to talk about it?
No, but I'm here to talk about it after you talk about it.
Oh, well, all I was going to say was there's two ways you can take part. One is by just being a FamiLAB member and coming and helping us run our booth. Another thing is to have your own booth, which I think Mike will go into better detail because he knows it a little bit more. But basically, it's having a booth related to FamiLAB.
If you're a member of FamiLAB and you have something to show off, there's a place in the form that says I'm associated with FamiLAB, or I'm associated with, and FamiLAB in there. But what I was going to say is, generally, a booth can come with a few volunteers, and so if there's another FamiLAB member who is running a booth, and you want to help out FamiLAB, maybe you help them with their booth. Like for instance, let's say Brian has Brian's lightsabers extravaganza booth.
Which I guess I'd actually sign up. That's not what it is. Yes.
But let's say Brian is only, one person. He doesn't have somebody directly in mind. You say, hey, I would like to help out with FamiLAB. Because we're going to be literally in the same block of stuff, say, Brian, I will be your volunteer. And then you
Here's
your
your
name on the
badge.
list. Because the thing is, when we go there and we say, hey, we need 32 badges for FamiLAB, they're like, you have a 6-foot table. And then they said, no. So if you want a guaranteed, badge to get in for free.
But if we have 6-foot tables, they're more likely to say, here's your 32 badges.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, and FamiLAB, what you were saying before, FamiLAB saying, hey, I want 6 tables, isn't as good, it isn't really what they want, right?
They won't
want,
give it to you.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's why Brian's fantastic lightsabers, whatever you called it, is going to be a separate entity, but it's still going to be with FamiLAB.
And it's
So,
gonna have the same
basically-
FamiLAB blue tablecloth and
Right.
all that.
It's going to have the same tablecloth, they're going to be together.
Yeah, last time I actually had my scout troop and I requested that we had to do a little juggling at the last minute to be right next to FamiLAB so that we were able to I was able to kind of bounce back and forth.
Right.
I don't know if my scout troop doesn't seem to be that enthusiastic this year, or at least have enough members to be that enthusiastic this year. but if need be, I could set something up again.
I mean, absolutely. If you've got anything you want to show off that can be part of FamiLab's larger thing, absolutely. Because then you can say, let's say you're doing scanning, laser scanning or something. Great, sounds good. You're doing laser scanning as part of FamiLab, but you have your own booth. Because if you say, exactly, because we're all going to be sitting right there next to each other, and we've even talked about doing stuff where we're not all, there's not tables surrounding us, and we're talking to people, because we've also talked about having people come into our booth.
Yeah. Trade show stuff.
More trade show style, more than, anyway, whatever we end up with the booth, it's very important. If you say, oh, I've got something I want to show off at the FamiLab table. FamiLab doesn't have a table to show off. We have flyers. That's what we have at the FamiLab table. It's super freaking exciting. Flyers. You want to show something off? You get your own table, and then we get more tables.
Right.
Like,
And it doesn't mean like Brian's got 2 lightsabers, right? So
Oh, I have more than 2.
okay, let's say he only
Brian
has
has
2
a
lightsabers.
problem.
Let's say Brian only has 2 lightsabers, but that's what he wants to show off
Yeah.
because it's his best project he's made. He doesn't have to fill that table with just those 2 lightsabers. We can move FamiLab stuff over to that as well and be a part of it. So
Yes.
don't be intimidated by it's just my table. I have to run it. That's another thing is we're gonna hopefully have enough volunteers where, well, not hopefully, we will have enough volunteers where we can move. Like Brian's gonna want to break at some point, right? He's gonna want to go eat. He's gonna have to take a poo. He's got to do what he's got to do, right? So. Right. You might want to wander around and look at stuff. Like,
Because
you want to check out the
because,
battlebots, somebody will be there to cover it.
Like 3 people can cover like 8 tables.
Right.
We just need people to sign up so that we get.
So the only question, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
She was waiting.
So just on the status update, Opportunity has been a booth there for years and years now. We have been approved already for a booth. We asked for special accessibility because mom's, wheelie walker and extra space. We got a corner booth because we have the games. So we've been approved already on that one. And we have our own decor that goes with our colors. The steam paints that meet here for fiber arts that we're starting up have also applied for a booth. And we did say also want to be neighbors with FamiLab. So I have not checked my email. I don't know if we've heard back about that booth particular. But again, it has its own table decor because it has its own color scheme and logo.
Right,
So,
So
but
next to us.
next year, absolutely. That's or across from. They don't always put it next.
Yeah. So the thing is,
in a pod.
the sooner that anyone gets registered, the sooner we can space plan to be together. And my wife is very, very involved in the space planning. Like every day, she's working with some of the new people to get them in the right space. So if we want to be together, the more people register, even if it's not complete, if you're like, it'll probably be ready by Maker Faire, sign up for it. Yes.
And sometimes across from is just as nice or nice and side by side.
Yeah, my only concern, I mean, usually the way I see it, maybe I'm seeing it incorrectly, is you put in a proposal and they may turn you down. So I'm just more concerned that if I put in something and they go, nah, no, we don't want that this year.
They won't turn you down unless it's dangerous or you're not. If you're just selling something, you're like, hey, by the way, I buy these soaps from China and I'm going to sell them.
Right.
They'll turn you down. The sooner you get in, the less likely it is you'll be turned down.
Okay.
And by saying you're with FamiLab, that's a big
Yeah,
sign
they'll-
as well, because we have an in.
I'm not abusing my power.
Well, not just you.
I mean,
Not just you. I am
Yeah,
done it
exactly.
forever.
We're-
I mean, like he was
we've
talking about, you're
yeah.
not gonna get, how many, you said 30
Badges.
badges.
Yeah.
I asked for 10 last year and we had 6, or 1 6-foot table. I asked for 10, I got all 10. So, I mean, we will still get more badges and whatnot. It's just, the point is that we have kind of like an end to it, like Brian said. So it's not.
And I didn't put down I was with FamiLab and I still got, it's at my scout troop.
So originally I was wanting to set up a table, but with health stuff, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it today. I know there's lots of people. If I anticipate only being able to handle 1 or 2 hours, should I still sign up for a table to join the program?
Yes. And I would put in your proposal that FamiLab volunteers will help manage my table while
I do want to add to that though,
Okay.
just because I know her project is more interactive.
I
So
I
you're-
would change it then, because
Okay.
I was gonna scrap the vinyl and just do like a woodworking display setup.
Okay,
as
I
opposed to interactive.
I do like your interactive idea though, so I don't know if you should necessarily scrap it completely, but maybe reach out to other members to see if somebody else can help you with
That's a
it.
good idea.
Because if somebody can take that over when you're done and you have to leave, somebody else can take that over. That's still interactive is really. I was about to get to that actually because you was talking about walking into the booth.
Yeah.
Interactive is really what we want because we don't want people just to walk by and we hand them flyers. Yeah, they stop a lot of times and they hear us out. But if there's something interactive to play with that we've designed there, or something that's moving or something to catch the eye, that's going to be a lot better. That's going to keep the people there and talk more about FamiLAB and show them what we can do at the lab. So the vinyl idea, I think that's an awesome idea. I understand your issues, but it's just I would say get with somebody else and see if they can partner with you on it because that would be great.
I just didn't want to sign up for a table, get there, all the tanks, I have to leave after the first hour, and not sure what to do with that empty room now.
If it's just a display table for you or anybody else, if it's just a display table like Mike said, that's not a big deal. Like we said, 3 people can cover 6 tables. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
If it's something interactive, then that's something you want to get with other members. See if you can get a partner up.
And when we say tables, just so your brain is turning to anyone online who's thinking about it, a space is approximately 10 by 10. So if you get, I don't know if you're 6 or 8, it might be 8 tables, but you get a 10 by 10. But if you get 6 10 by 10s, then that's a 20 by 30 space. So that's or however we ask for. Because right now we're at the point where if we say for some reason we want them all in one long row for no apparent reason, we could absolutely do it.
And then we
That's
could
right.
run a racetrack along it and start it and have people come up and,
That's a Lego, they do that already.
No,
But-
actually stamp a card if you hit all 6 FamiLAB tables, you get a prize at the end.
Yeah, you can get one of
You get a
can
card.
reach your hand in the box and
You get the flyer, yeah.
You get the flyer.
and if we
reach
do
through a
that,
black bag.
if we do that, we have to make sure that the blade insult isn't in the box.
Ben said, it's just a bag of unfinished projects.
No, those are they're just STEM kits.
All right, so
lab crates. We just hand you a box. Here's your lab crate. You can sign up for $50 a month to get a new crate every month, and we just fill it with all the junk that we didn't finish.
so anyway, going back to that idea of interactive, going back to the point of interactive or just displaying something, that's something that we really want. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it over and over again until the actual event. But if you have an idea of something you want to build, FamiLAB is willing to sponsor that event, and I think there's a possibility that MakerFX might as well. But FamiLAB will sponsor. What was our agreement, Justin?
We decided we'd allocate up to $500. We got a couple members that have already said they'd pitch in as well, so it's not all coming from reserves. There's some donations coming as well. We do want to just quickly give the board will want to just take a look at it to make sure we wanted to think it approved to talk to you, make sure viability before we put the money in. But that is something that we want to, and it doesn't need to be one big project for $500. Ideally, we're looking at a couple, 2, 3, 4 projects, help with materials, see that number kind of in.
So that's something made that I wanted to do.
There you go.
Even better.
But
Fun projects
even,
are the best.
even things like going back to lightsabers, for instance, if you said, hey, I need $50 to complete my lightsaber project or $100, whatever, let us know and we'll again discuss it as a board and approve it. We're really looking for stuff that's interactive, pretty much anything, as long as you're making something new. We don't want the same old stuff that's been on the booth every time or what's in our case, because that's all we did last time was we took the case basically. So anything you can think of, throw it past us. No ideas. I don't want to say no ideas too crazy. I was about to say that, but I remember where it was. But most ideas are not too crazy. That's probably gonna hurt too. But let us know and show us. You have to show us our outline too. You can't just tell us, hey, I'm gonna make something that's throwing fireballs for my eyes and not
It has to be,
If it's fire, it's outside.
Yeah, well,
It has to be not so crazy that Maker Faire has to consider a new rule.
right. But anyway, yeah, it's obviously you want to save stuff too, so let's be reasonable with it. But pretty much anything, even if you say you wanted to compete in battle bots and you need help funding a battle bot,
Do they have
I-
robots
that-
at Maker Faire?
yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's a big deal with them.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
I
so
Yeah, it's a smaller deal this year, but it's still a big deal.
yeah,
Okay.
smaller than
Really,
last
it's
year.
your fault.
We're not bringing up the big arena this year.
That because Lily's not there, I blame her.
Lily's not on the call, is she?
Oh, she was.
And maybe she's one of the 7 that's hiding. No, there's some other reasons, but yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that's even a thing. So let us know. We'll help fund it. But before I move on, does anybody have any questions or anything?
How do we need to let us know?
Just same as normal in Slack, tag board or reach out to us specifically.
One of the things, one more thing I'd like to do in the Maker Faire channel, one of the things that I can do or we can do, someone can do, even if it's me. We'll create a pinned post or a list of all the people who say that they're exhibiting, so that if for some reason their application has fallen through the cracks to not be with us, I can take that list, and then when they do their meetings, which is every Monday, by the way, so every Monday they do a Maker Faire meeting at 7. I can make sure they've got an updated list, especially when they start doing space planning.
Awesome.
So that way, if Justin decides to show off something, then
Like Chicago.
FamiLAB.
It's a little Chicago for that.
You've got a Chicago dog station?
No, but that is a great idea.
But and the only other thing I have on it as well is the sign-up sheet has not been released yet, but we will purchase the general volunteers. I'll run the booths. I will get that set up this week, probably. Yeah, it'll get set up this week, and then people can start signing up. It is a little bit early, but I mean,
We only have 2 more meetings until Maker.
oh, that's a good point. So it's not early. So yeah, I'll be posting that, and you guys can sign up.
And if you have other questions, there is a Maker Faire Slack channel. And feel free to contact me directly, and I can be the liaison, or you can contact Adam, who will then ask me, who I will then tell, who will then tell you.
And what's your name and Slack, just so people know?
Hybrid 6.
And Marcus, question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, anyone know how to hack an Oculus Go?
Oh, what? Oculus Go.
Anyone know how to hack them? Because I have 2 of them. And if you want something
I don't know
interactive,
if they run, they're pretty outdated.
they are.
All right,
And
hold on.
they
The train
probably
just
run-
went way off track.
And they probably
That's
run
post-meeting
Android.
conversation.
Okay.
No, the reason why I was saying, if you want something interactive, they had a lot of software loaded on them. And if you can, I read you can pull the software off, you can hack it and then put it back on again. And then they can run standalone because they don't need to be plugged into a computer.
I would say post that somewhere in Slack, maybe in the Maker Faire
And
channel.
do we really want to clean them before handing them off?
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just a alcohol.
There
All
are.
right.
We'll figure that out. If we get there, we'll figure that out.
All right, moving on. Signage. So we're working with Steve. I can never remember his last name.
It's Mugger, but I can't pronounce it. They don't want to pronounce it right, so that's why it's Steve M.
He is working on a new sign to put up above the overhang. You notice everybody else in this has a sign, so we need a sign as well, just so we can fit in with everything else. We do need a sign so we can be seen
Is
better.
that channel letters guy?
What's that?
The guy who does signs professionally? The channel
Yes.
letters guy?
So he is working on. I don't think he's on the meeting right now, but I just talked to him. I don't know, this weekend or something, and he had some good ideas, and he's going to throw some of them out there. But if you have any input, please reach out to him. He's Steve M on Slack. The picture is Steve from Blue's Clues. So yeah, reach out to him. Let him know if you can help, or if you have any input on what it should look like. Otherwise, we are kind of giving him free rein because we need to have it done, and we've been asking for a little bit, and he's, does it professionally. So the design is just what he's kind of getting stumped on. He keeps throwing a bunch of options at me. I'm like, look, dude, I don't care, get a sign up there. So if you guys want to give some input, just give it to him so that you could have some more than just him deciding, because it might be, you know, he's gonna decide the sign for 100 members, right? It feels a little awkward sometimes when you have to do that kind of stuff. So I
Only
think he might be
input so
delaying
far,
because of that.
the capital letters in FamiLAB, as long as they're the same.
Yes.
I can send him, at one point, it's probably on the board drive somewhere, I created a style guide for the FamiLAB logo, which includes all of the colors of the FamiLAB logo in different styles, everything from the RAL color. Did you send it to someone?
If you say it's on the wiki, I'm gonna kick you.
It was moved from the wiki to the website. It was pulled off the
Was
wiki.
actually put on the website?
It is now
I know
on
it's
the
also
website.
on the Nextcloud drive, so I pulled up that.
Yeah, it's got all of the data that we need. It's got the font, the colors, and different formats, and all of that stuff. That would be my only input at all.
Okay.
That is on our website under About Us, Resources.
Gotcha. Can you do me a favor when you have time, message him and just let me know?
Steve and Blues Clues.
Okay, we kind of threw this around, kind of check to see if people are interested. So we have a little bit of interest, but we're opening up a contest to design the window art. We also have all these windows, other than just that sign up top. We have all these windows that we can like decorate with vinyl or whatever. It does have to be approved by the landlord, so it has to be tasteful and not too crazy. But basically, what we're doing, Justin, can I find this off on you?
Yep.
Is that what you know about it?
Yeah, so we're talking about the rules. Basically, we got the 4 windows on each side, so we're gonna get up to 2. We want 2 winners. Members are gonna vote. What I haven't put on here and haven't sent it out yet is I want to ask anyone who's here, what's a good timeline to come up with an answer. I was thinking 2 months, so in 2 meetings, we just would ask people to present their ideas. The members would vote on the ones that they want to get put on.
I would really like to see it in this high tree. It would be really great to have all of them before Maker's Fair.
Like put up and done. Yep, so that if people come during the Maker Faire after party, they can see.
We will send it out next, if my work says I can get something else sent out next week, we'll ask to get it, present your plan. At the next member meeting, that would give us about 5 weeks to try to get it up. If we don't have enough takers, it isn't, but we can shoot for.
I have one of my wife's good friends is she works at a sign and graphics printing company. They did our banners, all of our white banners with this on. They also do like river and things like that. So if we were doing, I don't know if that was your thought, like a perforated printed vinyl to put on the windows on the whole thing. But that would kill several birds with one stone. It would keep the light level down and the heat down, and it would also be a large print.
Had not gotten that far. I was more hoping people would design, but thinking along something similar that we would be able to do. I think, honestly, I was thinking about using our own vinyl to do it, but if that is something that we can get a good discount, again, design first, application with application.
Yeah, when you design it, hang on, Mark, when you design it, don't think necessarily about how it's going to get on the window. We can work on that. We at least need to design for it before we can say go to a printer or something like that. But that's a good point. We have that resource.
But yes, that's good to know. We'll encourage people to think that way. But if there's something else that somebody wants to do dioramas, they have an idea to do it. Great.
You guys are gonna hate this, but growing up in New York, there was this one dry cleaner that I used to pass all the time, and they used to paint every couple of weeks. They changed the painting on the window, and they would do like
that
all
would be
these
awesome if we
fantastic.
could get somebody to do it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but that's also not even changing the paint. That's a way to get it on there. Would have been definitely not a viable application. So
That's cool.
All right.
So
Interested
seasons,
enough. We'll send an announcement in an email with more details. Probably while on vacation next week. I'll send it to you.
All right. Thank you, Justin. So moving on, outreach. Oh, wait, didn't we have a contest? The winner? A prize for the winner?
It was to be your artwork display.
I thought we were doing 1 month free too.
Oh, we did discuss that. So yeah, we would also go, because we'll have 2 winners. We'll do one on each side.
Right.
We'd get 1 month of it.
They can also reach into the box and grab a project.
That would be so much better. All
I
right.
mean, they could do that. No, that's the prize for the loser.
All right, moving on, outreach, the attendance for outreach has fallen off severely. If it's not just me and Justin, it's like me, Justin, John, Eileen shows up every once in a while when she has time. So we really need more people on the outreach. We busted our butts to get the paperwork for donation stuff and sponsorship legalized. So we're at a point now where we can start reaching out to companies, and we can start doing, finding more sponsorship and things like that. So outreach is not just for that though, but it's also for things of how to get more members in. There was an idea a while back that was to take flyers to apartment complexes and give them also a digital flyer that they can put on their website. Unfortunately, the members that brought that up have been busy doing other things. I think like Dave Woods has been out of town forever, plus his invention thing I think has taken off. So unfortunately, he was like the guy that brought that up.
Yeah, it was his idea, and we think it was a great idea. That's really, if nothing else comes from outreach in the next short term, we think that's probably the next. We have flyers now, we can run with that.
Yep.
But we need help, people that can go do it. And,
There's Dave even came up with a list of local apartment complexes in this area, and that's on the shared drive for anybody that can take it there as well. So basically, point is we need more people on outreach in order for us to progress the lab along, because just membership, as I said before, just membership is not really gonna cut it. Not until we get 500 plus members like other places. Or we, either grants are going to be hard to get if we're not outreaching, things like that. So definitely, if you have time, I think we might be switching it to once a month now instead of twice a month. But if you have time, make sure you join it. It's a virtual meeting. You don't have to be here. Just join in and kind of give some input, or if there's anything you can do to help out, we can let you know there.
Is it possible to change the name to outreach and marketing? Just because we do cover that, it's sort of a broad spectrum between community service work to fulfill grants, to write grants, to fulfill the grants, and the marketing part and the outreach, like, the circulation type of stuff, publicity.
yes.
So outreach and
we can
publicity,
summarize
outreach
that,
and marketing.
and if we get enough, because I know we've had this conversation before, I don't want to rehash the whole thing. At some point, if we get enough stuff working that we can split them out into two different distinct paths, that would be ideal. But right now, it's all one. So yes, we will do that. And
Update that way, that might just attract more people, because if they think outreach is just community service
I don't
and
know.
grant writing,
Marketing is pretty intimidating word, to tell you the truth.
publicity,
hate
outreach
marketing.
and publicity, or
Stuff I got to do for my business.
The last outreach meeting, I didn't see you guys online. I didn't see you online. Did you guys meet here in person? The last outreach meeting?
Wasn't it just me and you? Or were you on a different, like the wrong day? We didn't change it to.
I checked the calendar. It might be on the wrong day on the calendar.
We'll double check.
So, title's been updated.
bless you.
thank you. And yes, we're having one this Thursday. And then depending on attendance, the conversation there is about possibly moving it to once a month. I will not be on it, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll be on a plane. My plane is delayed and I'm stuck at the airport. I'll do it remotely, because why not? But after this one, please jump in, because we will probably move to monthly. Use the Slack, and we have some action items ready to go. We need people.
I will be on it. I'm actually going to talk about how the solicitation works, because we have to, when we ask for donations and sponsorship and things like that, there's certain paperwork that has to go through. So I was going to kind of discuss that with people. We're still not approving anybody. Like, it's not because you join that meeting, you're approved to go ask whoever, whatever. But I just keep everybody aware of what the process actually is. So feel free to join that meeting. All right.
This Thursday?
Yeah, this Thursday.
Okay.
So hurricane and storms, FamiLAB is not a shelter. This is just kind of a reminder because we're in that season. And we also had to rewrite that policy during the retreat because it reflected all old information of the old lab. So we do have a policy up now. I believe it is posted on in a public space, right? Public drive.
I believe so.
We will make that, yeah, because I think I posted in the announcements at some point. If not, we'll probably repost that within the next couple days anyway, just to kind of show everybody, what the policy is. But basically, keep an eye on Slack. If you see a storm coming and you planned on coming up here, just double check Slack. And I mean big storms. I don't mean like obviously thunderstorms are entirely different, but big storms like hurricanes starting to come or I don't know, swamps caught on fire again.
If it's something you think they might close schools for, then it's worth checking us too.
Yeah.
That's the scale we're talking.
Just basically before you make your way out here, check Slack, because that's where we're going to be announcing it. And once that announcement goes through, the door is locked and nobody's allowed in until it's cleared after the storm. Because just liability reasons, we just can't have people here during that kind of stuff. But yeah, we updated the policy, so keep an eye out for that for the link if it's not already in there somewhere. We're also planning on having things like that and either in a binder or a quick, easy way for people to grab while it's here or while they're here. Probably a binder underneath the podium thing that we have, or just some links to like the QR code that has our policies. We'll figure something out, but those will be easy access. Going back to membership numbers, I think we already talked about this. So we kind of skip it. Just keep engagement out. That's all we really need to do. That's proven to be the thing that brings in numbers is our engagement. Advertising doesn't work if when they come in, nobody's here doing it. So the engagement, the working on projects while you're here, working on projects during open house, things like that. That's what keeps our new members coming. Membership dues, we talked about this last meeting, and we're going to talk about it every meeting until it's done. With the increase of costs, and I'm not talking about, obviously we downsized to decrease costs, but we also have increased the cost of what the board is actually paying for, what the organization is actually paying for. And that's just to kind of keep the lab more stable. Things like toilet paper and soap and all those type of consumables, those things we don't have to rely on members to randomly bring in anymore. That's stuff that the lab and the organization is actually going to pay for. So those costs are increasing just to make sure that they're always there. There's other costs increasing, like we're trying to do outreach stuff, things like that, things that better the lab itself. And we're looking at wanting to improve what's out in the warehouse, what's here. That kind of stuff means we can't just pay the bills. We need to actually have an extra income. So with that said, we are moving to push everybody to the $75 membership dues in January. If you're under $75, you will be pushed in January. However, FamiLAB has always made exceptions and will always make exceptions as long as I'm on the board. I will always fight for that. I'm pretty sure all the members that we have, board members that we have now, are going to fight for it as well. So if you're on a set income or you just can't afford it because your job sucks and you just want to come here and play all the time, whatever, I don't care. Let us know. The board will discuss it and the board will determine, because losing a member over $25 probably isn't, or less, depending on what you're paying, probably isn't the best route for us to go, right? So we're just trying to streamline things, get things back up to a decent rate. And something I said before when we first talked about increasing 75, is this may not stay this way. Again, if we get to a point where we have more than enough members and we're bringing in a good amount of money and things like that, we can say, hey, let's vote on it. Let's vote to see if members want to take a cut, and cut the income or cut the profit. I guess non-profit. Cut the what's that? Yeah. Anyway, cut how much money we're getting in, and they pay less. We could do that. So anyway, I don't want people to feel like it's increasing. I can't afford it. I'm gonna leave. At least reach out to us first, because most likely we can come up with some kind of deal. I mean, worst case, maybe you got to take out the trash model.
Maybe we could do it like on the subscription sites when you're trying to get out of the subscription, it hides the subscription. It's in a done.
It's already kind of like that because people don't know that they can just go cancel it themselves. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I just want that to be abundantly clear that we're not doing this to push people out. We're doing this to streamline the organization.
I don't know whether this be now or new business, but to put on the table for discussion the idea of virtual membership where Slack access to the Slack page is like $5 a month, so that people are encouraged who don't use the space but want to support the organization, want to share with the knowledge base on Slack, and they live too far away or they never come in to still contribute and support the entire organization existing.
That would be
To put it on the
something-
table for discussion.
Yeah, we can discuss that further. I will say that would require more administration of Slack, which also would require us to pay for Slack. So that bill might not balance out, but that is something we can consider. We'll definitely put it on.
It's just meaning like allowing them access to the Slack or not, based on the contribution and supporting what's going on. Because to compare, Craftsy, which is just video access through Joanne Fabrics, has this now online thing called Craftsy, and you pay $9.42 a month just to see videos.
Right.
It's hard to put something behind a paywall if it's already available. So pushing the existing Slack behind a paywall would be
Yeah,
difficult.
first of all, you'd have to boot everybody out, start over.
Essentially.
It's,
But,
yeah.
but I mean, the idea being that we talk about Slack being the way that people, oh, well, if they join Slack, then they must join the lab. If they're not willing to contribute $5, then there's a good chance they're probably also not going to be willing to ever contribute $50 to $75 to be a member. And what are they really doing on the Slack page? Seeing everybody's unfinished projects, dirty laundry, fails, project fails,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. So
yeah, let's discuss that further. I would say,
just put it on the table for
we'll put it on the
ongoing
table.
discussion.
We'll talk about we'll open discussion in Slack and whatnot.
There
But
you
yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, so yeah, so that covers the membership dues again, January 2025. Any issues with it, let us know. Sponsors, thank you again to Elegoo, Wham Bam, and Rebel Point. It's kind of silly to continue to thank them at this point because it's been so long. But now that we have our sponsorship stuff in order, we can actually reach out to other ones. I actually reached out to Bamboo again. I know it's a fruitless effort, but I really want a Bamboo printer here. Despite what Brian says.
I mean, the hardware is great.
Okay.
The software is not. I'm still going to say, reach out to some, we'll see if they'll send over their presentation.
Yeah. Do me a favor and send me a message.
Got it.
But yeah, we can reach out. So if you have any ideas like that, reach out to the board. Join outreach would be a great way to do it, and let us know that it's something you think that the lab can benefit from. So I mean, it can be a little bit hard. We're not going to try and raise a bunch of funds for some obscure tool that might get used once. But I mean, we can reach out to pretty much.
That makes the tool and
Yeah.
say they'll send it to us for free.
The only problem with that, though, is that if it's obscure, there's not much interest. When we get it, we fulfill their agreement to do things like the social media posts. Even if we can fulfill that agreement to do that, there's minimal interest. It's going to be hard. It kind of, when it tears off, it kind of means that they're probably not going to work with us again. I can tell you right now, Rebel Point probably doesn't want to work with us very much because the 3D scanning didn't go over as well as we had hoped it would. They gave us a 3D scanner. We did some events, but it really didn't take off. So that's one thing to consider. If it's low interest, we might reach out. We might not. I mean, it really doesn't hurt too much to reach out. But
it's also a footprint in the space. We can downsize, we have
Right.
space. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I know people wanted to have brought up recently that we would not have a home for, unfortunately, even in this. So that would be something that we would think about as well. And keep it as a note for future tasks if things change.
And like I said, they are going to have some kind of agreement they have to fulfill. Not a lot of them just say, here's a thing, have fun. They're going to want some social media posts and things like that. So if you're presenting something, be prepared to be involved in that, because if you're not, then we're not gonna bother asking. Unless somebody else is, because we can't fill it, there's no point in trying.
Didn't they have a plan to, this might be outreach, but, didn't they have a plan to like do a drone tour of the space?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
All right, social media posts. Kristen's been doing more social media posts lately, I think. At least last month I saw you did a bunch. Thank you to that, and just keep posting stuff. And I made this on Slack. I made this channel. Again, even if it's something you made at home, it doesn't matter if it's something, something cool. I can just post it. It'll be good for social media.